care who buys it. You're telling people you
Sell
don't
their
care about the
Bitcoin.
price. That's all anyone cares about is the price. You're the weird one that's doing a bad job marketing Bitcoin. I'm doing a better job marketing Bitcoin. I got people to take their Bitcoin off of exchange and hold it and maybe even buy more to give them free coins for it. What have you done? What has Satoshi done? When Bitcoin.org got hacked, who went to save the Bitcoin people from being scammed? I did. Did you do an emergency stream when Bitcoin.org got hacked?
No.
More than once, by the way.
No, okay. Okay, fine. So all right.
I saved your users. I enrich your users. You hurt your users. You're sitting making no yield on your Bitcoin stack with no capital efficiency like a dum-dum. Why?
I don't believe you need yield. I don't believe you need yield.
You could buy more Bitcoin with yield, bro. You know Michael Saylor just took leverage? Michael Saylor just took leverage to buy more Bitcoin.
Good. And he's been doing that from the beginning.
Do you know how you go broke? Ladies, liquor, and leverage. He's doing the thing that you and I just said is a stupid, terrible thing, trading. He's taking on leverage. If the Gox coins come out and he gets liquidated, guess what that does to the spot price when he has to cover and sell? It adds volatility. He's adding volatility by getting leveraged up.
If he's doing it, and if that's what happens, then the market cleans itself up. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm sure you want Michael Saylor to get cleaned up. By the way, in 2013, Michael Saylor said Bitcoin was going to fail like online gaming.
Of course he did, but then he woke up. So
I'm going to interject here. I'm going to interject here because we have lost the plot a little bit here. Richard, thank you for the work you did for Bitcoin.org and helping those who are getting hacked and scammed. That is valid and a fair point. I want you both to define to me what is money, because that seems to be the crux of this argument that you guys are circling around. And if you guys can define that for us, I think that will help us engage in a different direction here. And I would like that to be defined first by Svetsky.
I mean, what is money? I mean, fuck.
I got it. If you don't got it, bro, it's okay. It's a standard definition.
It's the technology we use. Is my fucking, are both my mics on? I think they are. Okay. It's the technology human beings use to codify the product of their labor so that at some point they can interact and cooperate with someone else. It's like the fucking language of value, right? So we need a means. So in order for human beings to cooperate and to interact, we need a means via which to codify, to store the product of one's labor, and then to exchange it with another down the track across time and space. Like that's effectively the metaphysical function of money, and the only thing that changes is the object we use as money. That's why we've used fucking seashells and rocks and this and that. We've been experimenting until we've reached what I believe is the apex version of money, which is Bitcoin. It places money into the realm of the physical laws of the universe. Like no one here on this call can change the speed of light. We can't change thermodynamics. We can't change fucking shit. We also can't change Bitcoin's rules. And it's sort of that's the innovation to me. It's not about getting fucking rich. It's not about, making pumper fucking mentals. Like, that's not the premise here. Like Bitcoin is about placing money outside of anyone's capacity to influence, control, manipulate. And as a result, it puts people on a level playing field. And I don't mean a level playing field for some fucking goal of equality. I mean that then people can actually compete fairly without fucking leeches being able to, who don't add value, be able to fucking enrich themselves at the expense of everyone else, which is the whole fucking problem of fiat. Like that's why Bitcoin is replacing fiat, is that these clowns, like the fucking nursing home, Bidens and Jay Powells and fucking Lagardes of the world, they add zero value to society, but they still enrich themselves by leeching productive capacity from the rest of the world, by creating money supply out of nothing. That is the whole fucking problem we're trying to solve by placing money outside of everyone's hands. So that's my frame, and that's where I start, and that's the problem that we're trying to solve, not trying to make fucking people rich. I don't give a fuck about people being rich. If you're going to get rich, go and do something fucking useful, not fucking sit there, trade shitcoins. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, that's my point.
Richard, same question to you.
My pleasure. The standard definition you'll pull out of Wikipedia for what money is it's something that is durable. You can tell that it's not counterfeited. You can split it up into a bunch of parts. You have some hope that it maintains its value. It's scarce. So scarce, divisible, durable, that's all fine and good. But what we've seen is that everything that people call monies today suck. They're terrible. They have basically lifespans of 50 years, which are fiat currencies. They all go to zero over time. They print them out of thin air, which steals from savers. It causes boom and bust cycles of misinvestment and malinvestment. You give the money to the wrong people, it empowers a military-industrial complex. They don't have to pass war taxes, so they go and blow people up constantly with money that was stolen from the people, but people don't realize it stole from them. And then I've got unique takes on this that other people have never heard of before, which is why I'm a thought leader. So imagine a world where you've driven up all the prices by printing money out of thin air, stealing all the value from the money people tried to save. Now they have to pay capital gains tax if they sell something because it has fake gains on paper, and you tax them on the theft. So first you steal the money of their value, then you tax them because the fake value went up on the quote gains. And then if their wages, if they magically get wages, it kicks them into higher income tax brackets. It's a huge giant racket. And Bitcoin is better than fiat, but let's say, could we pick a weaker target? No, we could not. So while Bitcoin is better than fiat, it hasn't been better than Tesla stock. It hasn't been better than my Rolexes since you reached the top of the S-curve, since every scumbag venture capitalist has more Bitcoin than you'll ever have in your entire life. The people that hacked Bitfinex had $2 billion of Bitcoin. Draper's got billions. Winklevi has billions. Chamath has billions. Do Kwon of the stablecoin UST just pumped the price this week, and he's buying $2 billion and already executed a purchase for $1.5 billion. So while you think you're saving the world, how much?
He's buying $1 billion.
No, he already bought one. Well, he drove the price up. So he purchased 28,000 BTC so far.
All of this is irrelevant to the definition of money, though.
What are you talking about? Look, first of all, I gave you the standard definition from Wikipedia, so you can't even argue with that.
So is that your definition?
No, my definition is that the only thing that matters is goods and services, and everything else is accounting. And so if you can get the accounting to be more efficient, with less middlemen, with less counterparty risk. So for instance, Bitcoin doesn't address stablecoins, which people desperately need, and it doesn't address them, so they have to go somewhere else. Bitcoin doesn't address other tokens, which people desperately need. So if you want an affinity token or you want to monetize your audience, you can do that with NFTs or other mechanisms on Ethereum, which is why you see hundreds of thousands of users on Ethereum that will never use Bitcoin ever. They need higher throughput finality.
How's the NFTs gone for people?
I hate NFTs. I think they're disgusting. But the fact that they get them into the game so that they might buy something good is better than them buying GME meme stock, which is what's being shoved down their throat currently. What's being shoved down everyone's throats currently is margin trading. FTX buys all the ads. They want you to get wrecked margin trading on a side bet where no one has to buy real Bitcoin. They just make all the money on the side bet house. Same with eToro. eToro at the top of their website says, that's right. eToro at the top of their website says 67% of people lose with us. And it's misleading because the people that lose more than the people that win. And they have all the ads on all the race cars and all the sports games. And the guys that have the real honest projects that save the users, we can't buy ads. Now, we have had a NASCAR. Bitcoin's never had a NASCAR. We've had ads on, radio,
Pretty
television.
sure Bitcoin had an F1, but who gives a fuck? Like, the thing is, Bitcoin's not this is the thing, though. It's like what you're suggesting is that we agree that fiat money is
I have a higher throughput, lower fee, more feature set full, more secure solution to everything that Bitcoin's trying to do.
Correct, but the problem is
don't know about
you have it. No, the problem is that you have it. This is the thing. So I am, as much as I'm an arrogant cunt, and as much as I'm a prick, and as much as, people who, hate me and will say all sorts of shit, like, will say whatever, but I know I'm a fucking flawed human being. Like, I am in no position to ever be lord of the money, and I believe that there can be no lords of the money. Certainly.
Yeah, but you own Bitcoin where 40% of the supply is in 2,000 addresses. That's what you own.
That doesn't
you own
matter.
It doesn't matter? Because he just said it was. It's his point. Tell him. It's not my point. It's his point.
Because here's the thing. Can Saylor change any of the rules of Bitcoin?
Yes, he can, but you just don't know that.
No, he can't.
And by the way, the speed of light does change based on the medium it's in. And by the way, you can effectively kind of reduce the speed of light by changing your distance, which is why high-frequency trading firms buy fiber optic lines instead of having to use high-throughput infrared.
That's not changing the speed of light, though. That's not changing
way too big of a claim. No, stop.
You're lying. That is not a good point.
There's way too big of a claim right now that was made that you need to establish because, frankly, I think it's a false claim.
Which one?
Richard, how in your mind does Michael Saylor have the ability to overthrow and output whatever he wants on the Bitcoin network?
Oh, I guess you guys need to review your Andreas Antonopoulos material from 2017, back when we were fighting these battles. I'll quote him for you, even though he's a left woke scumbag. There's 3 parties that get to change the Bitcoin network: exchanges, people that accept it, and the miners, and kind of the software guys. And these four guys argue about what's going to happen to the network. And as proof that what I'm saying is 100% true, I will introduce you to something called the hard fork. Do you know why it's called hard? Because it is not backwards compatible. And if you do not upgrade your client, you don't get to run transactions. So sometimes you have soft forks. So for instance, they figured out a way to do SegWit as a soft fork. But then you have other things like Taproot, which I don't think was a soft fork. I think Taproot might have been a hard fork. And if you didn't enjoy that hard fork, there were definitely hard forks in the past, like, oh, we had 6 billion extra Bitcoin. Let's pretend that script didn't happen. And by the way, I hear you talk trash about the Bitcoin Cash guys. A Bitcoin Cash developer caught the last mint as many free Bitcoin as you want bug and responsibly disclosed it instead of minting as many free Bitcoin as he wanted, which the devs lied about and said was a denial of service bug until they had the patch released. And then they're like, oh, actually, by the way, it was also a consensus bug. Anyone could have minted as many free Bitcoin as they wanted. Now, you know how you prevent that? You know how you prevent inflation bugs? Inflation bugs are the worst bugs in all of cryptocurrency. They're the majority of these.
You are talking circles around the question I have asked. How is your claim that Michael Saylor can change the Bitcoin network valid?
Yeah, you just have the people change their configs. They're socially enforced networks. So the same logic that you do to say we're now going to accept larger blocks, or we're now going to accept Taproot, or we're now going to accept Chalk Lock Time Verify, those upgrades, the central consensus that you do to get people to change their nodes is the exact same consensus you use to go, now the supply is 42 million. Now we're not going to do the halvening. It's the same exact math.
That's an influencing people who run nodes. That's not
right. And then you get to have a war for who has the longest chain. And guess what? That's also socially enforced.
Then we get free Bitcoin airdropped.
Right. But it's a socially enforced network, or Bitcoin Cash would already be the longest chain because it is a longer chain.
All networks are socially enforced.
That's right. That's correct. And you use the same enforcement mechanism to change whatever you want. You can change anything you want.
This is the beauty of what you mentioned about Bitcoin, because you kind of proved yourself wrong earlier, is that you said that the problem with Bitcoin apparently is that it doesn't evolve and it doesn't change and it doesn't adapt because, everything
mostly it doesn't.
Faster, better, and all that sort
of
stuff. Exactly. So that's the problem. That's that right there, which people think is the problem, is the best thing about Bitcoin, and that is exactly why Saylor can't change shit.
He could.
Fucking difficult.
He just literally created a mining consensus for him. Like, this dude's introducing centralization left and right, just like Blockstream did.
He's done nothing with it.
Blockstream did the same shit. They released Liquid to compete with Bitcoin. They support Tether. They released cloud mining. These are your Blockstream homies. Okay, these are your squad.
They can do whatever they want. Businesses are free.
Michael Saylor cannot change Bitcoin.
Yes.